England's most decorated club, have improved under Roy Evans in 1994 following the difficult Souness era. Howard Wilkinson has been in charge at Leeds since 1988, where this has been one of his most taxing seasons in charge. This fixture comes amidst a congested holiday programme. Here's Paul Dempsey to bring you up to date with all the action.
The first Boxing Day win for Liverpool in 5 years, but they had to work very hard for it at Filbert Street against Leicester. City earned a penalty just past the hour mark when John Barnes upended Lee Philpott in the box. But Leicester can't afford charity like this. David James beating out Steve Thompson's spot kick. And sure enough, the Reds went down the other end to punish the strugglers. Mike Whitlow adjudged to push John Scales in the box. Even Liverpool players seemed surprised by the decision, but the referee pointed to the spot. And Robbie Fowler didn't stand on ceremony. If Liverpool had been lucky, they made their luck pay. 77 minutes gone, and the Reds 2 up. Fowler and Barnes combining to carve Leicester open. Ian Rush beating Kevin Poole at the near post. All hope appeared extinguished for Leicester when Simon Grayson went off for a second bookable offence 8 minutes from time. But still Leicester battled on. Mark Draper hoisting a free kick into the box and the sub Ewan Roberts heading home. Sadly for Leicester, too little, too late. Liverpool kept up the pressure behind the top two as they consigned Manchester City to their second defeat in 3 days. But tough going for the home team. It took a defensive mistake to break the deadlock on 55 minutes. Terry Phelan heading Phil Babb's cross past his own keeper. The result seemed in no doubt when Andy Dibble pulled down Ian Rush right in front of goal. No sending off for the keeper there, but a certain penalty. And Robbie Fowler then saw his kick stopped by Dibble. A big let-off for Manchester City, but 2 minutes later the game was effectively decided when Steve McManaman fed Robbie Fowler and he made amends with a swift control and vicious shot. Liverpool unbeaten at home in the league and with 7 wins out of 10 at Anfield.
In 6 days to keep their championship challenge alive. With all the latest team news from Ellen Road, here's your match commentator, Martin Tyler.
Gordon Strachan, less than 6 weeks away from his 38th birthday, is brought back into the Leeds lineup this afternoon. Strachan plays in a midfield anchored by the South African international Lucas Radebe. Radebe's fellow countryman Phil Masinga keeps his place up front, and centre-back David Weatherall has been declared fit despite 7 stitches in a facial wound. But Brian Deane and Carlton Palmer are both suspended. A shortage of goals, the main worry for Howard Wilkinson. Noel Whelan, who celebrated his 20th birthday yesterday, is Leeds' leading scorer with just 7 so far. In contrast, Robbie Fowler has taken his Liverpool tally to 19, 17 of them in the league, with goals in this week's wins at Leicester and at home to Manchester City. So no surprise that today it's the same 11 who started both those victories. Liverpool finishing a year which began with Graham Souness in charge, Roy Evans in control since the end of January, and his side making meaningful progress over the later months of 1994. Very, very cold in West Yorkshire today. We've had snow flurries on the morning of the match. Happily they've just ceased for the time being, but there's no guarantee that we won't see snow before the final whistle. The pitch, though, is in very good condition. Here's Redknapp. And the wintry weather indicated by the gloves sported by John Barnes. Seen those before. Tony Dorigo. on his 29th birthday. Speed. Oh, that's a stray one. Weatherall had to be on his toes. Finally, John Pemberton, who's got back in the side recently as a central defender, just tidied things up. But Gary Speed was a bit sloppy with the layoff. But Pemberton alongside Weatherall, they were alert, and no extra alarm in the end for Leeds. You can see David Weatherall with the plaster over the facial wound that he sustained here on Boxing Day against Newcastle. He wouldn't have played at Blackburn on Wednesday night, a game that was washed out. Typically impish work from Strachan. Interception by Redknapp. He's not given time to settle on it by Masinga, and taken on by McAllister. Whelan in the centre. McAllister still going. Barnes gets in the way. A bit of space for Liverpool to use on a break of their own with Redknapp. Fowler. Well, Lukic didn't really connect cleanly with the clearance. Barnes keeps it short when perhaps one or two Liverpool fans were wondering whether he'd seen an unattended goal to strike for from long range. Jones with the cross, it goes behind off to Rigo. An open field to the early minutes here at Elland Road. And it goes beyond all of them to be kept in play with some difficulty by McManaman. Barnes. That's a bit short, but it's Gary Kelly against Babb, the two Irish internationals. And Kelly did well, having been forced wide by Babb, to give some work to David James. Maybe he could have held it up and looked for support. But it was a shot on target from a counter-attack that really came from some sloppy Liverpool work when they seemed to be in control in the Leeds half. Maybe an outlet on the left for Leeds. Dorigo trying to supply it, but it goes further forward where McAllister has made some ground. Spotted by Scales. Radebe. Masinga calling for it. My word, that would have had them leaping up in the air in South Africa. Because that was the country which provided the route of this move through Radebe and Masinga. And Babb certainly left it to the goalkeeper, who stayed at home. The header went wide and Liverpool were led off. McManaman, Fowler, Bjornaby making up ground. Look for an early cross. It came off Strachan, who found himself in amongst the centre-backs then. And Leeds had enough players around the ball to deal with the danger. And the miscued by McManaman, a rush in there, battling for possession. And the referee gives Liverpool the free kick. Redknapp wanted to take it quickly, he saw that Jones was free. "17 minutes gone at Elland Road. Leeds set up their wall. Oh! Is it over the line? The goal has been given for Jamie Redknapp, who totally surprised John Lukic, who reached the ball but couldn't stop it, just dropping inside the post, over the line. And Liverpool get reward here for a bright beginning at Elland Road. Jamie Redknapp's free kick. And it's 1-0 to Liverpool, despite the dive of Lukic. Quick thinking by Redknapp, and there's the reward for it. And quietening the Elland Road crowd is a difficult task, but a prime task for visiting teams, and Liverpool have managed that, but only for the moment. But there may be more joy for them. Ruddock's ball, springing Fowler forward. Ian Rush keeping pace with him. McManaman also on hand in the centre. McManaman. And speed came on his blind side. Decent clearance from Dorigo. And Whelan making plenty of it. McAllister taking over. Radebe. Masinga. Good play from him. Well, he looks gangly and ungainly at times, Phil Masinga, but a very sharp turn here that completely pulls scales, and a really enterprising try and bend the ball just inside that far post. And that's not actually brought Leeds level, but it's lifted the spirits of the supporters. It was a close call for Liverpool. Well read by Rush, who never stints when it comes to doing defending. He leaves it now to McManaman. Kelly trying to be just a little too clever perhaps against Bjørnebæk. And the outcome is a Liverpool corner. A chance perhaps to extend their advantage before half-time. Barnes. Radebe didn't get to it. Rush is there, and fortunately for John Lukic, it came straight at him. Clipped in by Barnes. And the header by Lucas Radebe wasn't a decisive one. Wrapped goalwards by Rush, but really hitting it too true, and it flew straight at the goalkeeper. Bad is the defender. Whelan working him hard. But Bab, like most of Liverpool's efforts today, comes out on top. Rush. Fowler. McManaman. Bjørnebæk in a race with Lukic, and Bjørnebæk did get the ball over the goalkeeper, but there was help on hand for Leeds in the shape of Pemberton. Bjørnebæk concentrating on the elevation there and not getting sufficient power, and not able to chase it on in himself. Put behind for the corner by Pemberton. Bjørnebæk will take it himself. No challenge from Liverpool. We're moving towards the final 15 minutes. And the shape of the game hasn't really changed. Kelly. There's an obvious desire for Leeds to force the pace here, but they're just not being able to turn that desire into action. Elland Road was such an intimidating place for visiting teams, and you wonder whether that's changed because of the all-seater. Oh, it's 2-0. More misery for the Leeds fans. Robbie Fowler in off the post. And really Liverpool, who've been in charge for the vast majority of this match to this point. And David Weatherall only helping the Liverpool cause. Lukic got a piece of the shot, but Fowler gets his 20th goal of the season in all competitions, his 18th in the league. And he can look forward to 1995 with huge optimism. At the moment, you can't say the same for Leeds United. Radebe. Now Kelly, but McManaman fulfilling his side of the bargain defensively. Kelly's throw, speed, White. That's awkward for James. He hasn't had many truly difficult moments, but that was moving towards that category as it was driven into a position where Leeds had players coming in on a rather rutted goal area, but the handling from James was secure. Ruddock there again. Now, wide-eyed Gary Kelly, I'm sure still unaffected really by the pressures that has been put on the players by the supporters here, but there's no doubt, as you can tell from the reaction at the final whistle, frustration for Leeds, but a marvellous way to round off 1994 for Roy Evans and his players. Robbie Fowler has scored in all 3 games in a frantic 5-day period, and Liverpool have won all 3 games. Fowler's goal in the second half courtesy of a mistake by David Weatherall. Liverpool early in the game confirming their control with Jamie Redknapp's free kick. But Leeds will look back on a year perhaps of lost opportunities. No one will work harder than Howard Wilkinson to try to change that in 1995. Leeds United 0, Liverpool 2.